He's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Gava salut and welcome. Welcome to the beginning of the weekend, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I mean, most of us have half a work day still to get through, but let's face it, you know, even if you're in regular 9 to 5, after lunch, you're just waiting out the clock. Let's be honest. Let's say hi to all of you guys that came in today, starting with this lovely woman I'm going to be taking to dinner shortly after Liquid Lunch. Netter of Netter's Network. She is the reason for the drink that I am having today. Not that I need to drink to be married to her. The choice of drink is hers because it is one of her favorites. So we'll get into that in a little bit. She says like, share, subscribe, become a member. Please leave a comment. Absolutely. All of these things definitely do help, and really appreciate those things. Let's see. Big Al Presents says, wonder if a margarita pairs well with a margarita pizza. Have a great show. I don't know much about that style of pizza, but I think margaritas go with pizzas generally pretty well, so probably pretty good pairing. Have a great show, my friends, and wish everyone a happy weekend. You as well, my friend. Looking forward to hanging out with you for Emma tomorrow night on your channel. Thank you for having me on Netter's Network. Yes, get to know Big Al and his movie reviewing perspective last night on Netter's Network. Go check that out. Definitely worth a peruse. Geek Flag with Nate Knows says, celebrating 9 months of membership. 9 months, long enough to have a baby in that amount of time. Well, I thank you so much for your support, your patronage, all the ways that you, let's face it, you really do encourage me. I really do appreciate you. Then he drops another $2 super chat on me to say, can't stay long, have fun, but keep it legal. Well, I'm going to do my best to keep it legal. I obviously am legal, so there we go. Mark Malnikoff stepping in to say, Mech Paul, here I are. Welcome, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. And Netter, what's up? Remember, you won't echo because you're not down here with me. You can take it off mute if you wanted to say something. Okay. I just saw that Netter popped in. Thought maybe she wanted to let me know something. Huh? There you are. There you go. Yep. Gotcha, gotcha. No problem. Thanks so much. Love you too. And yeah, and mods, I'm counting on you guys. I know you guys are have my back, but keep an eye on the chat, right? We got the trolls starting. I must be doing something right because the trolls are coming around, and they're not even paying the toll to troll. So, Mech Paul, here I are. Well, it is lunchtime, and I'm glad that our Klingon representation is here. Mark says to smash the like button, subscribe, and become a member by order of the Klingon Empire. Do it now! Yes. Thank you so much, Mark. Super, super appreciate that. Let's see here. Another day, another dollar. You make that much? Good for you, Mark. Let's see. Who else we got? 9 to 5. Ha ha ha. What's that? Though I actually have this weekend off. There you go. There you go. Welcome, Lynn Green. Do I gotta leave a comment? You don't have to leave a comment, but it does encourage me so much when you do. Let's face it, you are the queen of leaving comments on videos, especially if you don't make it live. I know you have a tendency to come leave your comments and start up a whole conversation with me on videos. So last weekend I finished the KDF, Cardassian Guards, and Treasury Guards. This week it's the Romulan Star Navy. There you go. Good, good. Let's see. Curtis Selby, the voice of Northern somewhere. I keep forgetting the name of the show. But nothing to see here. What is it? Nothing to see here, citizen. And now monetized on this channel, so make sure you check him out. Good stuff over there. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, thank you so much for being here, my dear. And don't feed the trolls. Feed them to the targs instead. Yes, and targs will eat anything. Yeah, absolutely. So, you could probably tell from the title of today's stream what I'll be sipping on tonight. But let's go ahead and bring it up. I guess I gotta share. I gotta share my screen. It's this screen right here. There we go. Bring that in. Oh, that works perfectly. I'm glad I put that dynamic grid in because that works nicely. Margarita. This is coming to us from Difford's Guide. There's a bit of history here worth looking at. So, part of the sour cocktail family, the margarita traditionally consists of 3 ingredients: tequila, triple sec, orange liqueur, and lime juice, often served in a glass with salt on the rim. Margaritas are mostly shaken and served either straight up in the eponymous margarita glass, a coupette, or over ice in an old-fashioned glass. They may also be blended with ice and served in quotes frozen. Yeah, because when you make like a slushy like you do for a daiquiri and stuff like that, it's not really frozen because you still can't freeze the alcohol, but they call it frozen. So 1936, Tequila Day, Tequila Daisy. I'd like there to be a Tequila Day. If anyone knows of a Tequila Day, let me know. Joe! Yo, Joe! Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Okay. Margarita is a Spanish word for daisy. Oh, I did not know that. Incidentally, daisy is thought to be a corruption of day's eye due to the flower's head of the daisy closing at night and opening in the morning. And yeah, it kind of does look like an eye, right? Fair enough. And it's probable that the margarita cocktail is simply a tequila-based daisy. A family of cocktails made with citrus juice, sweetened with syrup or a liqueur, and fortified with a base spirit that dates back to Victorian times. So there you go. The daisy was a category of cocktail popular in the early 20th century, with the 19th of July, 1939 edition of the Albuquerque Journal describing the daisy as being ubiquitous, while the first specific mention of a tequila daisy appeared in the Moville Mail on the 23rd of July, 1936, in a piece titled Graham's Sightseeing. James Graham was a newspaper editor and owner, and in the piece he recounts his visit to Tijuana and Agua Caliente, Mexico. When we parked, the driver told us told us of places of interest that are now not so interesting as in the days of Prohibition in the States. Then there were 150 bars open, now there are 9. One of these is run by an Irishman named Madden. The driver told us of his skill in mixing drinks. One of his innovations has given his saloon the name the home of the famous Tequila Daisy. As a newspaper man seeking information, I entered the joint and told Mr. Madden my curiosity was aroused regarding the Daisy. He was not as talkative as his prototype, Mr. Dooley. But I imagine he looks like that gentleman, the creature of the imagination of the late Peter Finney Doone. After a while, he told me the daisy was not an invention, as no skill was employed in its creation. It was a mistake. I mixed a drink. In mixing a drink, I grabbed the wrong bottle, and the customer was so delighted that he called for another and spread the good news far and wide. Shortly after, in the 19th of August, 1936 edition of the Syracuse Herald, an advertisement for Leo Leiter and his all-girl band mentions Syracuse's newest and refreshing drink, Tequila Daisy. If Leo Leiter and his all-girl band and Tequila Daisies weren't enough, the ad also promised Eddie Van Zyl, the dancing waiter, and as an added attraction. So, 1937 Picador. In 1937, Cafe Royal cocktail book by William James Billy Tarling includes the British ancestor of the margarita called the Picador. This predates the first known mention of the margarita by 16 years, with the recipe in proportions identical to that recognized today as the margarita. So, the margarita is obviously a British invention. Hurrah! So the Picador is 1/4 fresh lime or lemon juice, 1/4 Cointreau, and half tequila, shaken. The same in 1939, tequila sour. The same ingredients in the Picador appear in the first known recipe for a tequila sour, which appears in the sours section of the New York bartender Charlie Connolly's 1939, the world-famous Cotton Club, 1939 book of mixed drinks. That's 1.5 ounces tequila, a half ounce of Cointreau, juice of a half a lime. Shake all ingredients with cracked ice, strain into a cocktail glass, rimmed with rind of lemon and coated with salt. Garnish with wedge of lime. Charlie Connolly's tequila sour is distinguished from the picador and indeed other sours by being served in a salt-rimmed glass with a wedge of lime. Importantly, Connolly's sours are also a true margarita, as it is a tequila sour sweetened with orange liqueur. In contrast to Tommy's margarita, sweetened with agave syrup, is simply a tequila sour. The first known mention of this tequila daisy / tequila sour under the name Margarita appears in the 17th of September 1953 edition of the Santa Rosa, California newspaper, the Press Democrat, in a piece titled Memo from Mike by Michael Demarest. Just back from his 3-week vacation, quote, on and off the beach at Balboa, where we crewed a 44-foot catch owned by some friends, close quotes. Mike accounts a meal in Ensenada washed down with margaritas. Much as we'd have liked to stay around for a big race, we finally girded up our money belt and drove to Ensenada, where the quail, lobster, and Santo Tomas white wine are as elegant as ever and only slightly more expensive. Mexican inflation hasn't affected the price of the margaritas. However, margaritas are concocted of tequila, Cointreau, and lemon juice and served in a glass whose rim has been dipped in salt to guard the customer against heat prostration, no doubt. They cost 50 cents a throw, meaning you start throwing things on the third drink. Wow, $50 a drink. That's kind of nice. The recipe of the margarita followed later that year in the December 1953 issue of Esquire magazine, along with a suitably flowery description. Quote, she's from Mexico, señores, and she is lovely to look at, exciting and provocative, close quote. The receipt given is 1 ounce tequila, a dash of triple sec, and the juice of half a lime or lemon. The trail of margarita reporting continues the following year with Gene Sherman's Los Angeles Times Cityside column. Oh, it actually reprints the entire article. Then, in this Valley Ramblings column, in the 13th January 1955 edition of the Van Nuys News, Dave Himlin informs lovers of that celebrated Mexican beverage tequila that they have Johnny Dresser, head barman at McHenry's Trail of the Cock restaurants, to thank for creating the margarita way back in 1937. Reprint of that article. Who created and named the margarita? Johnny Dersler is one of the many who claim to have invented or named the margarita cocktail. The following are the most notable in roughly chronological order rather than by probability. Sarah Morales, an expert in Mexican folklore, claimed the margarita was created in 1930 by Doña Berta, owner of Berta's Bar in Texcoco, Mexico. David Daniel Negrete is said to have created the drink in 1936 when he was the manager of the Hotel Garchi Crespo in Tehuacan, Puebla, Mexico. His girlfriend Margarita apparently liked salt in her drink, and the story goes that he created the drink for her as a present. In 1944, Danny moved to Tijuana, I was right this time, Mexico, and became a bartender at the Agua Caliente racetrack, which claims to be the birthplace of the Margarita in the early 1930s. In 1937, Vernon O. Underwood, a salesman for Young's Market Company, who worked his way up to become its president in 1963. The Los Angeles distributor of Jose Cuervo tequila is said to have asked Johnny Derlesur's head bartender of the Trail of the Cock restaurant in Los Angeles to create something using Young's newly acquired spirit. It's a good story, supported by the above piece in the January 1955 Van Nuys News, but the Trail of the Cock didn't open until 1939. And rather than ask Derleser to create the drink, Underwood visited the restaurant to see why they were ordering 5 cases of tequila at the time and discovered this was due to Derleser's cocktail. So the story is at least 2 years adrift, but Derleser was a well-respected bartender, and to quote David Wodrich, while his story might not be completely accurate, it's unlikely to have been completely fabricated either. I tend to give some grace on recollections of dates. If you are recounting when you came up with something or when you did something and you're off by a couple of years, because who remembers that kind of detail, right? So some also claim Underwood named the cocktail after his wife, Margarita, but his wife was named Adrian. So yeah, that kind of throws that off. Underwood is quoted as saying, "No name had been given to it. We named it. They were serving a tequila drink at the tail of the cock, but really it was more or less nameless. We and the owner of the restaurant named it the Margarita." Francisco Pancho Morales says he created the Margarita in the summer of 1942 while working in a bar called Tommy's Place on Juarez Avenue in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, after a lady came in and said, "Let me have a Magnolia," on the 4th of July, 1942. Unable to remember the recipe for a Magnolia cocktail, but remembering it contained Cointreau, lime, and a spirit base, he mixed these ingredients with tequila. I gave it to her, and she says, "Oh, this is not a Magnolia, but it's very good." And I said, oh, I thought you said Margarita. You see, Daisy is Spanish, in Spanish, is Margarita. The reason I called it Margarita is because I was thinking of the flower Margarita like the magnolia. She liked it, that's how it originated. Well, that's actually a good story, too. It's pretty plausible. Again, the date being a little bit off, right? We got a lot of other theories here. I think let's kind of cut to the chase on this. So whatever the truth behind the story of Johnny Derleser creating the Margarita in early 1955 under Vernon Underwood's guidance, Young's Market Company moved from being a local to a national U.S. distributor for Jose Cuervo, and supported this with the national advertising campaign for tequila-based drinks, most notably the Margarita. Vernon's insight into the growing popularity of Cuervo and the Margarita cocktail helped make Young's Market one of America's biggest liquor distributors. In turn, Young's Market advertising and Margarita influenced the cocktail success. So I think what we're basically getting down to here is the more I read these histories about drinks, the more I'm realizing that these are marketing driven. You know, you come up with a drink, you pop, it gets popular. You know, if you are a distiller of the specific alcohol for it, you definitely want to get it into your marketing campaigns, get it out there. And if you're a bartender in particular, you want to lay claim to it if at all possible. So let's go back to the main stage and see what you guys all have been saying. Let me back up a little bit here and say hi to, let's see. Most recently, I see Aged Boomer saying happy lunch. Happy lunch to you as well, Boomer. Looking forward to hanging out with you tonight and talking about Batman 89. It's going to be a lot of fun. Inspiration TV, PJ. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Check out his channel. We're talking a channel that is, if you're getting tired of the negativity on the internet, Inspiration TV is the place for you to go. It's a place for positivity. It's a little bit of self-help, but great community over there. And let's face it, I owe PJ for all of the inspiration. He is why I am always espousing the philosophy of hashtag Together We Grow. So if you feel that I have contributed to your channels in any way, it's because of PJ. Lynn Green says, I like the origin from Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. Briscoe visits an ambitious Mexican general / governor and is introduced to this new cocktail made by Margarita. There you go. See, I think sometimes a good yarn is always better than reality. Sounds very Klingon of me, doesn't it? Greetings, longest running superhero RPG on Earth. Glad you could make it. This guy is definitely talking about spinning yarns. He is sharing the stories of his superhero role-playing group that's been going for many, many years. You should definitely check it out. It's probably better than any of the superhero stories we're getting from Hollywood these days. Let's see here. Yeah, saying hi to each other, which is always good. The memory of morning, and tinsel, the prospects of the evening. There you go. And welcome to Anita, who says Patron Silver or Don Julio. As a matter of fact, Netter, what do we have on the Carnival wagon? Is it Patron? I can't actually remember. We've got some. I forget, and it's the Carnival wagon is upstairs right now, so I cannot check it from here. Let's see. Yes, thank you very much, CK. Smash that like button. I super appreciate you. Smash it like you've had too many tequilas and your nose is about to meet the ground. Let's see here. Guys all saying hi to each other. That's pretty awesome. Well, my drink's getting a little low. And we're at about the midpoint, so let me go ahead and remember to take down the comment first. Then we're going to see what we've got coming up this week and get back to your comments on the other side of the promos. See you in under 3 minutes.
You're watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, while matchmaking for friends and neighbors, a young 19th century English woman nearly misses her own chance at love. Cupid is armed and dangerous. Big Al presents Gwyneth Paltrow in Jane Austen's Emma, this week on Films with Friends. Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
John and Gus receive a mysterious email inviting them to the Cinnamon Festival in Dual Spires, a quirky town that's nearly invisible on a map in this homage to Twin Peaks. We'll revisit this funny parody and go behind the scenes of its production next time on Live from Sparkwood and 21, this Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
The xenon-based security systems have locked down the Scorpio, effectively stranding our heroes. The computerized lock leading to the launch silo can only be opened by Avon, who has his hands full after becoming enmeshed in a war between local tribes. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's a weapon counting down inside the launch silo, threatening to release its nuclear power. This week on Last Call presents Blake's 7. Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central.
This week on Netters Network, we're celebrating a channel that just hit the milestone of YouTube monetization. We'll sit down and chat with Corey of Wilkie's Movies and Music and give you a chance to subscribe and maybe become a member. All this and more on Netters Network, Thursday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Yeah, Corey is good people, and Wilkie's Movies and Music is a great channel. Ordinarily on a Friday after Liquid Lunch, I would send you guys over to him, but he's not doing an afternoon show today. He's taking a bit of a day trip, and good on him. Good on him. I hope Corey's doing well, and let's face it, he's had a busy week this week. Monetization went in earlier this week for him. I quickly got in on the ground floor over there, becoming one of his first members, and so I've seen all the membership announcements over there. All the things he's doing, all the things he's got planning, and he's been putting in overtime for his members. So definitely worth checking out his channel. And if you don't before then, we will on Thursday when we sit down and talk with him over on Netters Network. Thank you so much, Jonathan Conroy, who says, "Hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show." Yes, I do hope that you are enjoying the show. Super appreciate it. So, why a margarita tonight? And why do I blame my wife for that? In fact, as I shared it out, I quoted Jimmy Buffett. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, and yes, her name is Netters Network. Does she drive me to drink? No, she does not. In fact, she's the one who limits my drinking. It's because she loves me and she looks out for me. But when we were dating, we would often go to a number of local bars in the Chicago area, and her most common drink of choice was a margarita. So I said, "Yep, I will make you a margarita." Now, she has a potential future guest on her Thursday show who wants to join me for a show specifically about tequila, and so that's why I didn't go with talking about tequila today. I want to wait until maybe I can hook up with him and plan something out. But this is a tequila derivative drink. It is a specific cocktail, so I wanted to at least be able to go into the history for you guys on that. I do have an interesting personal margarita story. So back in the early 90s when Netter and I had first gotten married, one of my first jobs after getting married was I started working with a facilities management company contracted with a law firm downtown. So we're talking, proper professional, right? We're talking suit and tie type stuff. I was literally the site manager. Well, I wasn't the site manager. I was a manager trainee. They intended to install me as the manager of a future account they were working on. Actually, that I helped them contract, but that's another story. Anyway, so I'm in their management training program in the first week of training, and I mean proper training, like classroom based leadership training and interview skills and stuff like that. I mean, hardline stuff, numbers and, reporting and financial stuff, all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the week, it was, Friday, there was a company mixer, the management company, not the law firm, at a Mexican restaurant called, I want to say it was called Su Casa, in the city, in the Loop. And specifically, they were celebrating the birthday of the regional manager. And I was like, I don't know, if I even really want to go to this thing. And the manager who was training me said, you really should go. It's part of management. It's the networking. It's, go hang out, talk with everybody, get to know people. It's good for your future career. Okay, so I go, and I figured I'd stay a while, have some drinks, happy birthday, maybe get a little bite to eat. Well, they had a bunch of finger foods passed around, so I was having some nachos and whatnot. The chips were incredibly salty. And so the only thing that they had to drink was pitchers of margaritas. And I said, I gotta be careful, because what was supposed to happen was I was going to take the L, that's the elevated train, for those of you that aren't local. I take that home. I lived about, about a half-hour train ride north of the Loop. Then I was supposed to, I think I was actually supposed to drive to pick up Netter somewhere. But she was working downtown too, and she would have been taking the train as well. So I don't really remember. Anyway, point was I didn't want to get drunk, especially at a professional sort of the L, not the L, or loss. Right, for the elevated train tracks. So, in fact, those elevated train tracks, which are in Chicago, not in, well, I know New York has a train line like that with elevated train lines, but despite the fact that the film was set in New York, the scenes in Tobey Maguire's the first Spider-Man movie, the one where he's trying to save the train and he's shooting the webs, and he's trying to hold the train, that was filmed in Chicago on the Chicago L tracks, which it's funny because you can actually see where it's supposed to be. The only difference is they digitally alter the end line of it because they're trying to make it look like it's about to go into the drink. So it would literally have to have gone out of the Loop, across Michigan Avenue and Lakeshore Drive, and point directly at the lake if it was going to, follow the path that he was going for. I suppose if it was New York, it would be, out of Manhattan into, the Long Island Sound or something. I don't know. But anyway. I knew you were going out. So I went home alone. That's what it was. So I didn't have to drive anywhere. But I did have to get to the train, and I did have to manage to get myself home. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I'm eating these chips. They're getting real salty. And this other manager, he was a manager, he was sitting across from me, and he goes, "Oh, let me refill you." And I'm like, I don't want to drink too much. He goes, "We're having fun." He pours me a drink. What I didn't realize, because I'm having fun and talking to people and whatnot, he keeps refilling my drink when I'm not paying attention. And I think I'm still on my first, maybe my second drink. And who knows how much I had to drink. I ended up getting frickin' ripped. Because you get thirsty, you drink. And they were very refreshing margaritas. But salty, keep drinking. I think that's why they put those salty chips on the table, is to keep you drinking. So I was pretty ripped. So by the time that they were getting ready to do the whole happy birthday to the manager, they how they do in these types of restaurants. They have someone come out doing the clapping, doing the singing, and then they had mariachi come out and put the sombrero on his head and put maracas in his hand, and I'm singing cumpleaños feliz, and that's when everyone kind of started to realize Troy's lit. So they're like, put the hat on him, give him the maraca, and I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And everyone's laughing, and I was like, you know what, I really got to get going, I'll see you on Monday. And I'm thinking back, and I'm going, oh, geez, I'm going to be known as the company drunk. This is the first impression I'm making on the upper management. I get into work on Monday, go up to my manager, and I'm like, how bad was it? She goes, what do you mean, how bad was it? And I said, I got really ripped. What kind of impression does that leave? She's like, oh, don't worry about it. You may have gotten drunk. You may have been the first one to get drunk. You were by no means the last. You left early. You missed all the fun. So the general manager, whose birthday it was, the head of HR, and the head trainer, the person who had trained me all that week, who also happened to be dating the head of HR, got so drunk they couldn't even take the train home. I said I got to get home. I got to make sure I get on the train, not fall asleep on the train, all that kind of stuff. They couldn't even do that. They decided to get a hotel room downtown. Birthday boy calls his wife and says, I'm sorry, honey, I can't come home. I'm going to get a place here. I'll be home in the morning. The idea was for them to all meet up at this particular hotel, particular room, whatever. He was late getting there. So HR manager and trainer got there ahead of him, went up to the room, didn't have a key. So they knock on the door. He's not answering. Apparently he had been so drunk that they thought that maybe he passed out in the room, that he was in trouble. They had to get in there. They're trying to break down the door to get in. Security shows up. They run off. He shows up later, not even knowing they'd been there. And he does just kind of go in and just fall asleep. They, again, dating couple, end up down at Navy Pier trying to get into a section where they weren't supposed to be, trying to climb a fence, almost got arrested. My manager's recounting all this to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I've never done anything that insane in my life. I don't think I could be that drunk to do something that dumb, you know? And she's like, that's what I'm talking about. You're fine. You got just drunk enough to fit in with all of them, and they think you're one of us. I'm like, all righty then. Margaritas can be very, very dangerous in that regard. Okay, what are you saying, Curtis? I'm doing a marathon stream Saturday, but you can vote here for content. Will be 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is Saturday, okay? And I'm assuming, because this is Curtis, when he says 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., we're talking... Oh, did he actually say Central? Oh, yeah. 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. So in other words, he's going to have it wrapped up an hour before the Emma watch party over on Big Al's channel. So there you go. So go over there and vote, especially if you're planning to make it for at least some time on Saturday. I want to say hi to the Horror King. Hi, good to see you. He's going through and saying hi to all of you as well. Horror King gets here just as we are wrapping up. But the Horror King is on the other side of the pond. So I can't even imagine what time it is over there. I don't know how you make it at all to the liquid lunches over here. Hi to everyone else here in today's live stream. That's very kind of you, my friend. I hate the change YouTube made last year that causes the stream to crash because it sucks up all your computer's memory. I missed what was clearly the funniest part of the story. You can always rewind and check it out again. Yes, folks, I had no reason to bring this up specifically, but I did want to mention Culture Casino was having some real trouble streaming his 6-minute daily today. He kept crashing. The stream didn't go down, but he would be muted, and then he would try to unmute. His camera would shut off, and this kept happening to him. And it turned out, we thought that it was bandwidth with his internet because he was having internet problems earlier in the day. No, what it was his computer was low on memory. Why? Multiple tabs open, things going on. Guys, if you are having any kind of issues on either end, whether you're the one that's broadcasting and having computer issues, or if you are trying to watch a stream and it keeps hanging up on you, yes, it could be your internet, but also check your CPU. You know, Control Alt Delete, and then you check the task manager. See what's eating up all your system resources. If you have a whole bunch of tabs open, that's going to eat up all your memory. It's going to bog down your system. And this too, the chat takes up a lot of memory. There are times, if I'm not actively engaging with the chat, I will close the chat. You know, that button at the top of the chat, you can close the chat so that your system quits continually updating and grabbing all those messages, because that just kills you. And when I am streaming like this, sometimes I have the YouTube tab open, especially if I'm concerned that I'm going to have problems, especially if I'm planning to be chatting and I want to, at you, bring it up, make sure I don't get a misspelling. But by and large, if I'm in the studio, I'll close YouTube so that chat isn't eating it up. Exactly what Lynn said here. Exactly what Lynn said. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's 12:49 noon today. There you go. Okay, so I am going to begin winding it down so we can get a jump on the weekend. As a matter of fact, Netter and I have reservations at Benihana later this afternoon, we will be back in time for last call, no doubt about that. But thank you to all of you who last week made such generous contributions to the anniversary fund. You are, of course, effectively buying us dinner today. So thank you so much. We will go celebrate, and then we will come back and celebrate some more at last call. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for all the encouragement and all the contributions and all the ways that you support us. You guys really do make it happen. You take care. Hope to see you later tonight. Salud.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high.